Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Kaia Ra Official, where I take your questions live. It's been a minute since I've been here, and I'm really happy to be back. Hi. Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat and share where you're watching live from, or if you're catching the replay, feel free to add your questions and comments in the video comment feed. So I hope you're all having a special holiday season. Here we are, almost complete with 2023. I've got to say, thank God. It's been a long year, and it's been a good year. It's been a year of mic micro level growth. The year of the dragon is going to be bringing in a macro level vision. So we're going from extreme details and cleaning up the corners of our life and our relationship and our relationships that needed attention, needed care, and into a year where you're going to be activated in every aspect of your life and how it can expand and reveal your greatest empowerment. So we're getting ready for a really big shift, as some of you have probably already known. There's some interesting astrological coordinations at the beginning of 2024 that isn't going to make it feel as though you've walked into the new year. So Monday on January 1st, you might wonder, why doesn't anything feel that different? Well, we're going to be sharing more about that in the prayer collective call today, which is happening really soon, actually, at 2 p.m. Pacific. And we're going to be talking about how the year of the dragon really kicks things off on February 10th for the new year. And as well as on January 20th, we have Pluto finally making it back into Aquarius. So that is going to be the beginning of a massive 20-year reconfiguration in the heart of humanity and life on Earth. And so this is not a normal this is not a normal year for us to walk into. I'm so grateful we're walking into 2024 together. And please feel free to join us live for today's prayer call. It's free. You can get the link by signing up on my website at kaira.com. And yeah, we're going to do an incredible journey with the Sophia Dragons and Isis, actually. So be sure to tune in for that. And I'm about to go live on the Sophia Code app as well in a few minutes to answer more questions live. So we got a lot going on over the next couple of hours, and we're so grateful for you tuning in live today or watching the replay. Okay, so just a reminder, the beginning of next week probably will feel like more of the same, and that's actually a good thing, which we're going to talk about in the prayer collective call. We have a lot to get ready for over the next few weeks, and so this is just a little bit of extra time for us to continue to prepare our hearts for the arrival of the dragon in the year of the dragon, and also for this massive shift of Pluto moving into Aquarius. So today's question that came into the feed that my team has shared with me is from Kiri. And Kiri asks, how can I create stronger boundaries for myself when I feel that my heart wants to keep giving to others without any limits? Ooh, this is a good question, especially during the holiday season. Have you ever had that experience where you feel like you could just give and give and give and give, but you know that you need to be in balance, not just with receiving, but also um, maybe having boundaries with people that would happily take if you were to give. If you feel like you can identify with that or recognize yourself in that kind of inner monologue, that inner dialogue that we tend to have with our own hearts about giving and receiving. Feel free to share in the chat if you can relate, or in the video comment feeds. This is a great question, Kiri, and I have personally struggled with that question so many times. So for those of you who are just joining live, I'm going to read this question one more time. Kiri is asking, how can I create stronger boundaries with myself when I feel that my heart wants to keep giving to others without any limits? All right. So Kiri, thanks again for writing in your question. We love receiving your questions from the community. So thanks for being a part of our ongoing journey with the Sophia Code teachings. And what the Sophia Code and the Ascended Masters teach is that we are only able to give, we are only able to authentically show up to our divine purpose based on how much we are giving to ourselves and how committed we are to our personal journey of healing, receiving, and creativity. So when you start to feel the edges, right? We all know where our edge is. We start to feel like, oh, maybe I might be spending too much on this idea or this person or this situation, or I want them to feel how loved they are, or I want for this situation to be a complete and total success. And you feel the edges of, and I feel like I am giving too much. How do you know that in your body? Feel free to share that in the chat. What are the physical signs that you start to feel in your body when you know you're giving too much? I know for myself, I start to feel physically drained. I start to feel as though uh, maybe my cup isn't full anymore in my heart. I start to feel as though I'm a little resistant to giving in any way, whether it's physically or when if it's something that's involving money. Maybe I start to feel like maybe I should hold back in this moment and just let this breathe and see if I feel the same way tomorrow or next week. And that is one of the easiest ways to practice um, healthy boundaries for yourself. You don't have to say no out of fear. You can say to yourself, wait. If this is something that I'm meant to do, I will still feel that way tomorrow or next week. Or if it's something that's a really big decision, maybe next month, maybe next quarter, and you allow yourself to sit with the desire to give in a particular way. And if it's still there and it feels regenerative the next day or the next hour, or whatever the space is that you're giving yourself, you get to explore, well, in that space, that in between space, oh, was this actually a form of codependency? Or do I actually genuinely feel regenerated by giving in this situation? I was just particularly tired the day before or a couple hours earlier. And so when you slow down and you give yourself permission to be very mindful, very present with what is motivating you to give, you start to realize that giving doesn't have to be compulsory. It doesn't have to be a never-ending a faucet that's always turned on. And if there is a momentum to continue to give that seems out of control, it's important to take time and point and direct that energy towards yourself. Make sure you are balancing enough giving to others with giving to yourself. And the more that you create the space and the inspiration to give back to yourself, the more you're going to know when you're giving to others is really coming from a joyful, regenerative, and aligned space within you. And so no one's saying you have to stop giving, because I know for myself, I always feel like I want to give, like all the time. It just comes from my love of life, of God, my love for myself, my love for the work that I do. Um, I just feel a lot of love and I just want to give. It just makes me feel really good to just be a part of the generosity of the universe. But I have found that, or not, I shouldn't say but, I should say, and I have found that having that self love and that self care practice of making sure I'm giving to myself as well keeps me in balance. I don't have to stop the faucet of giving. I can be receiving myself. And that creates a lot of balance with how much we're giving out into the world and giving to others. So how does that land for you? I'd love to read your comments in the chat. Um, I'm curious, have you had a journey with giving or maybe overgiving, or just how to be in a space of giving where it stays in balance? Yes, Reggie is sharing that they're healing from I'm assuming codependency. Um, it's not fully typed out. Yes, Julie is sharing sometimes giving is also filling in the emptiness that we feel in ourselves. Um, It's really true. It's we really, when we take the time to examine this drive to give within ourselves, we might discover some uncomfortable places within us that we hadn't noticed before. Reasons for giving. Maybe we don't feel worthy of receiving. And so when you practice giving back to yourself, you'll discover if that's true. Are you willing to receive as much as you give to others? From yourself, not even from other people. Although that will share a lot with you about what's unfolding in this drive and momentum to give. Um, I also find that giving to, for example, different causes can have different energies. So I like to balance the giving that I give to people, um, that I express towards people. I like to balance it with giving to animals because animals are so unconditionally loving. Um, it's such a regenerative experience when I give to animals. I often feel very filled up from it. Whereas with humans, it's you don't know what's going to happen when you give with humans. There's such um a wide spectrum of feelings and emotions. It's fascinating. You can be very generous with someone and they don't want it. They want to give it back, or they don't want to receive it at all because they don't feel like they actually deserve it. I've actually actually came up against that experience several times this holiday season where I was attempting to be generous, especially around service industry people during the holidays, and some people tried to give it back, and I thought, wow, okay. Sometimes like the experience of giving comes with a whole with other humans, it comes with a whole context of their inner world about what they can receive or what they can allow. And so the healing around this conversation of always wanting to be in a state of giving, it's never going to be a problem if you're giving back to yourself, because that's such a powerful pathway of healing your relationship with your own heart and stepping outside of any codependency that might be running in the background with giving to other people. And so when you come back to the experience of being in a space of giving to others, you're going to feel so filled up from how you've been giving to yourself, or maybe, diversifying your experiences of giving with animals or nature, the environment where you feel your cup really filled back up. giving can become a lighter conversation. It can become a conversation where you are empowered and do not feel drained by it. Um, so we, in the beginning of that realization, yeah, Krista is writing in the chat right now. She said, I had one lady I tried to be generous with, and she assumed that I was trying to control her. And she thought I was giving only to manipulate her, and it wasn't that way at all. Isn't that interesting? It's like we just never know. And we don't give to get. We don't make the offer of giving something to control or manipulate an outcome. But we do need to be aware that when we are giving and interacting with humans, it comes with the human experience. And that can often feel a little confrontational or even intimidating to light workers where they don't even want to give because people make things complicated. They do. And they do come with their trauma. We all have our trauma that we are around these subject matters that we're navigating, some more than others, based on how much healing work you've committed to and inner examination. But what I love about this question is it's asking us to examine a very important topic when we're a spiritual light worker. Giving and receiving are two very powerful topics that deserve a lot of attention and a lot of self-care and a lot of curiosity and hopefully a lot of um, willingness to give to yourself first, to understand the momentum that is driving you to give in a way that is where you can discover how to be in your most empowered relationship with the drive to give within you. I find Mother Mary and the Sophia Dragons to be extremely helpful when it comes to this conversation around giving and receiving. And I'm so looking forward to our New Year's ceremony on February 10th with the Sophia Dragons. We're going to be welcoming in that spirit of the wood dragon on the Chinese New Year on February 10th, the Lunar New Year, with our beautiful community. And I'd love to see you there. You can sign up on my website now at kaira.com. And we also have a special announcement that we have announced our live 2024 journey with the Sophia Dragons, which you can learn all about on my website. So I'm going to head over now to the Sophia Code app. Thanks everyone for tuning in today. Please go ahead and like this video, share it with a friend that might need to have some inspiration around this topic. And I will see you in the app, and we'll see you at today's prayer collective call. All my love to you. Namaste.